better prepared to play and execute, and we'll bounce back. I have no doubt about that.
How much is the way they're playing Draymond right now kind of egregiously leaving and affecting you guys?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but we've got to be able to counter any defense that we see, and that's our job now, is to because basically everybody's playing us the same way. We're seeing the same patterns defensively night in and night out, and so we've got to adapt to that, and that's what we worked on today, and I have no doubt we'll improve, and we'll improve our execution and find some different ways to score.
What's the key to getting Draymond going offensively?
I think Draymond has actually been pretty good since he's come back. He's played with good energy. He's had a couple games where he knocked down some threes. Last night he didn't, but last night none of us played well. None of us coached well. It was a tough night for everybody. So I think Draymond is going to be fine. He's just now getting back into the swing of things. And if you look at kind of the total picture of his, I don't know how many games he's been back, maybe 5. I'd say he's played pretty well.
Steve, last night, Steph and KD both said after the game that they thought the team struggled with in-game adjustments. So when you hear that, what do you take away from that?
I agree with that. And so we watched the tape today and talked a lot about what adjustments we need to make.
Is that a matter of them not implementing what you guys said, or you guys telling them?
Well, sometimes it's not as simple as here's the adjustment, go do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times it's you see it and you work on something in practice and then you implement it. And so it was a tough night for everybody overall, and we definitely need to adjust to certain things out there that we're seeing defensively against us, and then we've got to pick up our own defense as well.
Will utilizing him as a screener potentially?
What's that?
Utilizing him more as a screener potentially.
Draymond? Yeah.
Defense. Is that
sure.
Maybe part of the adjustments you're talking about there?
I think the way we play, we get a lot of screen assists. We traditionally have done a lot of that during the last few years. Pins for Steph, Klay, KD, and a lot of times Draymond is handling the ball and getting the assist on that. And but there are also times when he could be the screener on the weak side, and that's something that you'll see more of.
Thank you. I guess when it comes to these adjustments, is this a time for self-reflection? Like you know what defenses are going to throw at you because they've studied you. Now is the time. It's like the big chess match of basketball,
right?
Here, the self-reflection.
Yeah. That's part of. I think it's part of every team's season, but maybe especially us, because teams have been plotting for us for years now, and we've seen pretty much everything over the years, and this year we're seeing probably a new pattern defensively from what we saw last year. The big thing was everybody was switching, and this year they're not switching as much. They're doing some different things, and we've got to be able to attack that. So that's our job as coaches, to lay out the vision, the visual on tape and on the practice floor. Good thing is we got, 40, I lost track, a lot of games left. And the whole point of the regular season is to get better and to learn exactly who our team is and how we have to attack against what we're seeing night in, night out.
In your mind, is Klay's shooting slump still a product of just the overall offense, or is there anything with Klay specifically?
Overall what?
The overall offense, you talked about how when you're not moving the ball the way you want to, it can hurt him. Do you think if there's anything he's doing that he can work on specifically?
Sure. I mean, that there's always individual work that goes into to a player when he's working through a tough stretch. So one thing with Klay, he's going to get his work in, and So we can help him out as coaches. His teammates can help him out, and he can help himself out. It's always a combination, and all of that has to happen.
How do you react after a game like that, Steve? Do you wear it all night long, and you go home and have a glass of wine and watch TV and forget about it?
No, I watched the game last night when I got home, and it was good to do so. When you can really see the patterns that are happening, then it's easy to show the team and to go over things, and that's the whole point of the job. Show up this morning and give the players something to hang their hats on, and that's the idea. So that's what we all did last night. All the coaches pretty much felt the same way. We all went home individually and watched the tape and came in and talked about things this morning, and then had a really good practice. And as I told you guys last night, this is more the reality of what the NBA is really like. You guys know the stats, but the last 4 years we've had the greatest 4-year record in the history of the NBA. So we've raised the bar really high for ourselves, and so it's gotten tougher between injuries and all that stuff. Some roster changes, some different ways that teams are attacking us. It's just gotten harder. It's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy. And a couple of years ago, it actually did seem easy at times. But I think all of us who have been in the league for a long time were well aware that this is the reality, and it's not that bad. We're a game out of first, so I feel pretty good about where we are. But we do have to adjust and improve.
Is that why it doesn't seem like anybody's worried? The concern level really isn't there. Is that why? Because you guys have been through this so many times, and because everybody's had the experience that they've had over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I mean we're a championship team. We've got a lot of guys who have been through everything in this league, and so you rely on that experience, and we rely on that as a staff. With our leadership amongst the team, and we keep pressing forward. We just keep trying to get better. It's the reason we have practice every day. There's a reason you guys show up every day and write about our team. It's a journey. It's a long journey, and it's as I said, it's a more arduous one this year than it's been in the past because of the circumstances. So it's all part of it, and we're gonna get through it. And we're gonna get better, and we'll see what happens.
Right now, you're tracking to about 54 wins. I know you look at the big picture, but that would be the lowest total in your era. I mean, that seem about right, 54, or would you be disappointed?
Man, wouldn't that be devastating?
It would be horrible.
It'd be devastating if we only got 54 wins. Get rid of everybody. Imagine uttering those words, any time over the last 3 decades. Would the Warriors settle for 54? The bar's been set high, and I told our guys that. I gave them that line today. You guys have set the bar really high, so everything takes on a little greater sense of urgency in terms of what happens around the team. We're maybe the most scrutinized team in the history of the league. I know we're right there with the Bulls teams that I played on, and felt the same, but even more so now because of the number of media outlets and the immediacy of the judgment criticism. So it's all part of it, and our guys have learned how to deal with all that over the past few years, and it doesn't matter. What matters is how you respond to a bad loss, to a bad stretch, to injuries. As long as you keep responding, keep showing up to work, keep sticking together, keep working, good things are going to happen, and that's what I believe with this group.
Do you ever even briefly find yourself in that? Like, oh my God, that's not us. What are we doing here? That you create a level for yourself that you expect.
Not so much in terms of expectations, more in I think stylistic lulls that we've had. There have been times where I've You know, I've seen games or stretches in games where we didn't look like ourselves. But then you stop and you realize that we've got half the roster is new. And so even though, you know, you focus on the stars here, we got a lot of guys who haven't been part of this in the past few years. A lot of guys who are, you know, playing important roles, whether it's, you know, Jonas or Alfonso, or, you know, young guys who are taking on bigger responsibility like Loon and JB. So it's going to be a learning curve, some growing pains, all that stuff, and the team's a little different. You know, we have a different look at our center position. So maybe what we did last year, running our offense through the post with David West, or you know, rim runs for JaVale, or you know, post splits with Zaza, all that stuff that we ran last year. We have to adapt to all that stuff. And that's what happens with when you have, you know, new pieces and a new team. And so that's what we're going through right now. And I'm very confident in our ability to get through it and to play at a high level.
Is this DeMarcus Raymond, I assume?
That's a good guess. I didn't know the curtain was coming down, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
Is there? I mean, I know it's not like a long-term thing with him, but what's kind of next steps? Obviously, scrimmage today.
Just got to scrimmage and get to the point where he's ready to go with his confidence and his conditioning.
You've been in crisis situations in the playoffs, obviously, so this might sound like a stupid question, but you know, what's the level of challenge for you now, or the heat, or the pressure on you? For you to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's my job, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really think about it other than how we can adjust and get better, and that's the other stuff. Honestly, I don't think about it. All right. Thanks, everybody.